You're watching the News Channel 15 Highlight Zone with Glenn Marini and Ross Kinsey.
This is definitely kind of a conference championship.
This could be deciding who's going to win conference.
This game means a lot to us.
There's no team that Tyler wanted to beat more than Homestead. We've never beat them.
They were the cardiac kids last year. They always come back.
With our game last year, we feel that there's a bit of unfinished business.
We try to prepare each game like it's the biggest game of the year, and this one is.
The Birds of Prey against the Men of Sparta, the greatest show on turf, the angst in a boy. Whatever you call it, make sure you call it a showdown in the Northeast Hoosier Conference.
That's right. The NHC taking center stage tonight. At Carroll, the Chargers looking to take down unbeaten New Haven. At DeKalb, the Barons trying to get off the Schneider against East Noble. And down in Ossian, Norwell in search of win number 1 against Belmont.
Indeed, but first we learned in kindergarten that sharing is nice. Not the same when it comes to football, though. Columbia City and Homestead shared a portion of the NHC title last year. It was the Eagles' first since 1990, while it was the Spartans' 4th in a row. Those two going head-to-head at Walters Memorial Stadium as Columbia City at Homestead is your Highlight Zone game of the week. And yeah, both teams coming in undefeated. Spartans won this game 31-28 at Columbia City last year on a huge field goal. Zach Terrell early on handed it off to Grayson Best, and that's a short touchdown, and it's 7-zip Homestead. Now here's the kickoff return for Columbia City, and it's a long one, so grab some popcorn. Jared Murphy, what doesn't this kid do for Columbia City? He punts, he kicks, he plays defensive back, sometimes he catches passes, he runs, he's also the quarterback. Yeah, he pretty much does everything. 98-yard touchdown, but it's 7-6 at that point. Then it's Zach Terrell, and the Terrell show was looking good. Finding Isaac Griffith. Remember, Isaac had 7 touchdowns last week. That's why he was the Highlight Zone Player of the Week for the NHC and NEI game night.
135 yards receiving tonight.
Yeah, not too bad. Terrell had 4 touchdown passes in the first half, and there's Grayson Baston with a nice touchdown run. And, well, we're going to find Mr. Baston in the end zone again. At this point, it's 35-6 Homestead, and yeah, we're still in the first half. How about Terrell showing off the arm? 362 yards for Zach, and this one is nasty. Watch Jake Weber make a move right here. He cuts like Edward Scissorhands. That's right, that's a Johnny Depp 1990s movie reference. He goes in for the touchdown, and Homestead, well, they put up a lot of points in this one. They beat Columbia City 52-13 as they lead the NHC.
Those numbers are nothing to do with me, man. All my guys out there, wide receivers making plays. Jake Weber with more yak yards than probably I've ever seen. So just, man, it's a great team win. I'm really proud of our team.
Each game gets a little bigger if you win the previous one. So the next week's the biggest game of the year for us, and that's how we have to approach everything. And we want our kids to be focused and take every opponent that we have seriously. So that's exactly what we're going to do.
Homestead is at Belmont next week. Columbia City gets DeKalb. Let's go to the D. Carroll Chargers coming in 2-1. Chargers hosting an unbeaten New Haven squad, and Powder Puff cheerleaders getting a little freaky tonight. But I'll tell you what, this was one heck of a football game. In the third, it's 10-6 Carroll, and that's Grant Wilson, the quarterback. Out of the defense's arms and into the end zone, 13-yard TD, 17-6 Carroll. Neon Nation loving it, but they wouldn't like this. Fourth quarter, Lydell Trainer of New Haven, a 1-yard touchdown, 2-point conversion good. So it's 17-14, and the fans know, it's a little scary if you're a Carroll fan. Late fourth, though, New Haven driving. Ross Coble had a couple big defensive plays, including that sack, and then the most beautiful play in football, victory formation. Grant Wilson takes a knee as Carroll gets a huge win. 17-14, they're now 3-1.
Coach preaches to us every day. Next play. If you make a mistake the next play, get the next play. Don't let it affect you. And there was a couple times we let it affect us, but ultimately we knew we had to get the next play, and we did.
Our objective is to be playing the best football we can week 10. Right? This is week 4. Right? Next week we get ready for East Noble. It's 1 week at a time. We're not looking down the road. We're not looking at the next opponent. We're looking at the next play, the next series, the next day. That's it.
What a job Doug Dinan's doing. New Haven hosts Norwell next Friday. Carroll at East Noble.
How about a regional rivalry in Waterloo? The winless Barons hosting the Knights of East Noble. Pick this up in the first quarter. DeKalb on the 4-yard line, 4th and 2. But the big stick there by Jake Hamill. The Barons actually take over right there. Now we pick it up in the second. East Noble, the direct snap to Evan Croy. He had 196 yards and that touchdown. The Knights take a 7-zip lead with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. It's Michael Spears. You know, he's just going to keep it himself and just, take it in for the score as East Noble rolls to the win, 28-14, the final.
Down at the courtyard, Norwell looking for that win number 1, taking on a Belmont team that came in 1-2, and this one was 14-zip. Belmont in the third, and Brian Fullenkamp. This hurts because he's a quarterback, and he picks off Norwell at this point. Nice return by young Mr. Fullenkamp, and yeah, that couldn't be real beneficial if you're on the Norwell sideline, I wouldn't think. How about Belmont? Ryan Mendez punching this one in for a 3-yard touchdown, 23-zip Belmont midway through the third. And then Norwell trying to make something happen on offense, but the ball would come out. And check this out, Dewey Melcher. Big number 30, kid goes all the way for a touchdown. Rumble, young man, rumble. 27-zip Belmont at that point, and the Braves go on to win by a final of 34-6.
Last week was all about the streak. Northside snapping Dwenger's string of wins in the SAC at 38. The Redskins coming into the night a perfect 3-0. Ryan Hall named the state's coach of the week by the Colts on Monday. His Redskins hosting Wayne. And how's this for a quick strike? The second play of the game, C.J. Jackson pitches to Nick Cook. And yeah, he's gone 76 yards. It was 7-zip Redskins, just 54 seconds of the game. Check out Coach Hall. Think he was pumped up about that? Yeah, they went for one. They made it. The next Northside possession, Jackson faked me out. You'll see him kind of go in the end zone. That's a touchdown. And you know that orange thing that came out tonight?
Sun?
It's called the sun. And it was shining on the Redskins. How about big Taquan Walker? Keeps it himself from the quarterback position. Northside now 4-0, 62-zip the final.
The sun is shining, but so is the SAC's victory bell. Dwenger coming off its first SAC loss, though, since October 2006. Saints hosting Northrop, and that's Northrop's defense. Austin Pearson coming up with a big sack, the old 6'5 defensive end. But Northrop looking good here until the ball hits the turf. Alex Schenkel of Bishop Dwenger, you're going to see 43 in there. Ball out, and he recovers it, so ball to the Saints. Steven Espinoza, 5-yard touchdown. You know what? He had 2 footlongs from Subway before this game, one of them a crispy chicken. I don't know if it works for everybody. It works for Steven Espinoza. The guy apparently down 24 inches of sandwich, had the touchdown.
3 touchdowns
Mikey
on the night.
Cable with the 1-yard touchdown there. 14-zip Dwenger, and the Saints roll. They're back to their winning ways, 35-7.
Concordia coming off their first true win of the season. The Cadets at winless Southside. And how about some Cadets D in this one? Phil Book. Yeah, he's going to get the sack right there. I don't know, maybe fell down. He still touched him, gets the sack. Concordia driving in the second. Tanner Spencer just airs this one out. How about Mr. Mark Rogers pulling it in? That's a 45-yard gain. Eventually, Michael Hicks is going to cap off the drive with a short touchdown run. Concordia led this game 14-3 at the half, but it's the Archers coming back in the second half to get the win. 19-14 the final.
Can't stop the fight in fields. How Schneider at Penn, the Kingsmen ranked 4th in this week's 5A poll. Panthers ranked 13th. Second quarter, 3-zip Penn. Jamil Davis up the middle for a touchdown, and it's 10-zip Penn. Ensuing kickoff. Schneider's Bryson Olden would take it, trying to make a play, but what a hit by Kyle Richards. Olden would be okay, but the Schneider team probably has a long ride back because this is Davis again. 17-zip Penn at the half, and Schneider falls to the Kingsmen by a final of 31-13. Well, what you didn't see there were Bishop Lure's highlights, because the Knights have a rare night off, but not the case for the folks in the ACAC.
At Leo, the Lions trying to stay undefeated. Heritage goes for win number 3 against unbeaten South Adams. Those highlights and plenty more coming up next in The Zone.